Hello everyone, welcome back. This is week 10, part 5. So we are almost done with our next to last week of the year. Wow. Okay, so we have already completed all of the main lessons of Unit 10, and I just realized I forgot to change this for the last 2 videos because we are about to do Lesson F, which is kind of like a fun bonus lesson where, you know, they just have sort of random lessons, random things about life. Okay, so the one we're going to, oh wait. Everybody, get your feet flat on the floor. We need this. We need to do this. Shake out your arms. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now do 2 more. Okay, now we're ready for English. So today, this Lesson F, we are talking about recipes. I thought that would be bigger. That looks very small. Recipes. We are talking about recipes. Who can tell me what is a recipe? I can't hear you. So a recipe is a set of instructions for preparing a particular kind of food. Write that down. A set of instructions for preparing a particular kind of food. How many of you like to cook? I know many of you do. Many of you like to cook. What I would love to know, maybe in the WhatsApp group you can share, what do you like to make? And do you like to follow a recipe or cook without instructions or without following directions? I would love to know if you could maybe make a video to share with the group in WhatsApp. So what kind of information do we find in a recipe? Well, you will probably have things like ingredients, you'll have measurements, cooking time, how-to directions or steps, And then how many people is the recipe for? Or how many servings? Okay? Those are usually the main things you find in a recipe. So today, the reason I wanted to do lesson F is because we will be reading a recipe for pumpkin pie. Do you know when pumpkin pie is typically served? Thanksgiving, that's right. We were just talking about Thanksgiving in the last video. My favorite holiday, and pumpkin pie is one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions. Now I have to mention, Teacher Chris, your old teacher, absolutely cannot stand pumpkin pie. Does not like it at all. He is very, very pro sweet potato pie. This is a big controversy for many Americans. We joke, but it's a real kind of playful battle. Like, are you team pumpkin or team sweet potato? The two pies, in my opinion, taste very, very similar. I just prefer pumpkin because, number one, you only have it one time a year normally. Number two, I grew up eating pumpkin pie every Thanksgiving. I loved helping my grandmother make pumpkin pie, and so it holds a special place in my heart. And number three, I just like the way it tastes. You get a slice of pumpkin pie with the Cool Whip whipped cream on top. Perfect. So, have any of you ever tried pumpkin pie? Because if not, that needs to change. Maybe this coming Thanksgiving I can bring some pumpkin pie to our Thanksgiving party. But anyway, let's learn how to read a recipe, because reading a recipe is actually a very important, very useful skill for life. Not just for cooking in the kitchen, but many of you, maybe at your job, you will have to read something, maybe not a recipe, but maybe something like a recipe. And so it's very important to know how to read a recipe to help you in those situations, okay? So let's read this recipe. Now, I will tell you, it would be good for you to practice pronunciation by reading along with me, or maybe repeat after me, okay? So say it along with me. This is Mother's Thanksgiving Pumpkin Pie. Preparation time, 15 minutes. Preparation time means how long it takes to put it all together. But then cooking time, let me hear you say cooking time, 50 minutes. Everybody say 50 minutes. Ingredients: 1 pre-made pie crust, 1 8-ounce package cream cheese softened, 2 cups canned pumpkin mashed, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 cup sugar. Now I want to say really quickly, when we are talking about this, if I were reading this to Chris and he was trying to make this in the kitchen and I was reading the recipe to him, I would say, we need 1 package of cream cheese, we would say of, 2 cups of canned pumpkin, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. But the way that they write it on the recipe, they don't use of. So when I'm saying this for you to repeat after me, I'm leaving out of because I'm just reading exactly what is written, okay? So 1 egg plus 2 egg yolks, lightly beaten, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1/4 cup or 1/2 stick melted butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon ground ginger, optional. I personally really like it with the ginger. It adds just a little bit of a kick, a little tang. It's really good. Number 1, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 2, beat the softened cream cheese. Number 3, add the pumpkin and beat until blended. Number 4, then add the salt and sugar and beat until blended. Number 5, then add the egg mixed with the egg yolks, cream, and melted butter and beat until blended. Number 6, finally mix in the vanilla, cinnamon, and ginger. Number 7, pour the filling into the pre-made pie crust and bake for 50 minutes or until the center is firm. Number 8, set the pie on a wire rack and cool until it is room temperature. Cut slices and serve with whipped cream or ice cream. Serves 6 to 8 people, depending on how big you cut your slices. Okay, so that's a pumpkin pie recipe, and it sounds amazing. I don't think my grandmother normally uses cream cheese, but that sounds really good. Okay, so let's look at these questions here. Probably you should pause the video, answer the questions, and then we will go over it together, okay? So pause the video here. Did you do it? Good. So it says, read the questions, look at the recipe, fill in the answer. Number 1, which ingredient do you need 1 cup of? A, heavy cream, B, sugar, C, vanilla, D, both A and B. The correct answer is D, both A and B. The recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of heavy cream. And in fact, my book has the wrong answer marked. Whoops. Number 2, what should you do after you blend the cream cheese and pumpkin? Okay, so go to the recipe, find where it says blend cream cheese and pumpkin. It says add the pumpkin and beat until blended. Then, it's number 4 on the recipe, add the salt and sugar. So that would be answer A. On number 2, the answer is A, add the salt and sugar. Number 3, which ingredient is not required? A, vanilla, B, ginger, C, cinnamon, or D, cream cheese? Well, the only ingredient that says optional next to it is ginger. So the answer is B, ginger. Finally, number 4. According to the recipe, what would be a good synonym for the word blended? A, cooked, B, beat, C, melted, or D, mixed? Well, if you look at all of the steps 3, 4, 5, it says beat until blended. So beat cannot be a synonym for blended. But then it says finally mix in the vanilla, cinnamon, and ginger. So I think mixed is a good synonym for blended. So that would be D, mixed. All right, now you have 2 parts to your homework. The first part is to do 1B. It says solve the problem and give your opinion. This is just for fun. It's just something to think about, but I would love to hear your responses because this may be a very real situation that you find yourself in, and maybe other people could benefit from your ideas. So it says, Aunt Anna's class is having a potluck. Everyone is supposed to bring something. Her classmates are asking her to bring a dish from her country. Anna has very little time and money now and can't afford to make the dish for the potluck. What should she do? Okay, so your homework is to answer that question, but then your other homework, this is the more important one. Find a recipe of some kind of food that you've been wanting to make, and then make it. Just make sure you follow the recipe, okay? Bonus points if you send a picture in the WhatsApp group. Sound good? All right, thank you all so much. I will see you next time. Ciao.